media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption: hundreds of lives were cut short due to prescribed opioids at Gosport War Memorial Hospital. More than 450 patients died after being given powerful painkillers inappropriately at Gosport War Memorial Hospital, a report has found. An independent panel said, taking into account missing records, a further 200 patients may have suffered a similar fate. The report found there was a disregard for our human life of a large number of patients from 1989 to 2000. It said Dr. Jane Barton oversaw the practice of prescribing on the wards. There was an institutionalized regime of prescribing and administering dangerous amounts of a medication not clinically justified at the Hampshire Hospital. The report said the scandals that haunt the NHS. Jane Barton, the doctor who shortened lives. NHS closed ranks over hospital deaths. Reaction to hospital deaths report: Prime Minister Theresa May described events at Gosport as deeply troubling and apologized to families over the time it took to get answers from the NHS. Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt told MPs that police and the Crown Prosecution Service (CPS) would examine material in the report to consider their next steps and whether criminal charges should now be brought. Bridget Reeves, whose grandmother Elsie Devine, 88, died at the hospital in 1999, said these horrifying, shameful, unforgivable actions need to be disclosed in a criminal court for a jury to decide, and only then can we put our loved ones to rest. Media playback is unsupported on your device. Media caption: Gosport Hospital families grossly let down by authorities. Image copyright PA. Image caption: Dr. Jane Barton was found guilty of serious professional misconduct in 2010, but no prosecutions were brought so far. The only person to face disciplinary action has been Dr. Barton, who was found guilty of failings in her care of 12 patients at Gosport between 1996 and 1999, but no prosecutions were brought and she was not struck off the medical register, choosing to retire after the findings. Please upgrade your BROs to view this content. Timeline: hide Gosport Hospital deaths. What happened next? Show all. Was this timeline useful? Yes, no, thank you for your feedback. /form. Share this timeline at Moz. Keyframes: gel spin 0%, Moz transform rotate 0 deg 100%, Moz transform rotate 360 deg at WebKit. Key frames: gel spin 0%, WebKit transform rotate 0 deg 100%, WebKit transform rotate 360 deg at MS. Keyframes: gel spin 0%, MS transform rotate 0 deg 100%, MS transform rotate 360 deg at Keyframes: gel spin 0%, transform rotate 0 deg 100%, transform rotate 360 deg. BBC News Visual Journalism. Loading spinner display block margin 8px, auto width 32px, height 32px, max width 32px, fill number 323,232. WebKit animation name: gel spin. WebKit animation duration: ones. WebKit animation iteration count: infinite. WebKit animation timing function: linear. Moz animation name: gel spin. Moz animation duration: ones. Moz animation iteration count: infinite. Moz animation timing function: linear. Animation name: gel spin. Animati on duration: ones. Animation iteration count: infinite. Animation timing function: linear. HTML. BBC News VJ wrapper font family: helmet, Friesens, HELV. Etika, Arial, sans serif. Former Bishop of Liverpool James Jones, who led the Gosport independent panel, said the documents seen by the panel show for a 12-year period a clinical assistant, Dr. Barton, was responsible for the practice of prescribing which prevailed on the wards. Although the consultants were not involved directly in treating patients on the wards, the medical records show that they were aware of how drugs were prescribed and administered but did not intervene to stop the practice. Image caption: families of those who have died at Gosport Memorial Hospital gathered at Portsmouth Cathedral to hear the findings of the inquiry. Relatives had said they hoped the findings of the report would end their harrowing wait for answers. The document said families were consistently let down by those in authority, both medical individuals and institutions, when they complained about the treatment of their loved ones. Bishop Jones, who also headed the Hillsborough inquiry, said, "It's not for the panel to ascribe criminal or civil liability. It will be for any future judicial processes to determine whatever culpability and criticism might be forthcoming." Image copyright PA image caption Bishop Jones led the panel and announced its findings outside Portsmouth Cathedral. Skip Twitter post by @NormanLam. The Gosport Inc. Eerie conclusions are truly shocking. 456 deaths following inappropriate prescribing of opioids and a closing of ranks which prevented families from getting to the truth. pic.twitter.com/T6NFVG7IP7 Norman Lamb @NormanLam. June 20, 2018 report. End of Twitter post by @NormanLam. Police previously investigated the deaths of 92 patients during 3 inquiries between 1998 and 2006, but no prosecutions were brought. Independent and thorough police investigation by another force now needed. Chief Constable Olivia Pinkney of Hampshire Constabulary said the force had cooperated fully with the panel and shared with them more than 25,000 documents containing 100,000 pages of information. Another shipment. We will assess any new information contained within the report in conjunction with our partners in health and the CPS in order to decide the next steps, she added. The CPS said it will consider the report and take any appropriate steps as required. The report said an awareness that the deaths might be due to another shipment had cast a shadow over how concerns at the hospital were viewed. Image caption Family tributes were placed outside the cathedral. The police focused on the allegation that Dr. Barton was guilty of unlawful killing rather than pursuing a wider investigation. The report added GP Harold Shipman was jailed for life in 2000 for murdering 15 patients between 1995 and 1998. Hampshire Constabulary approached Dr. Barton's managers, including the then chief executive at the trust and Dr. Althea Lord, the responsible consultant, in a way that ignored the possibility that they too might have been subject to investigation. It said the quality of the force's 3 investigations was consistently poor. The panel found officers had a mindset of seeing family members who complained as stirring up trouble while seeing the hospital as the place to go for guidance and assurance during their inquiries. The report added there was an institutionalized regime of prescribing and administering dangerous doses of a hazardous combination of medication not clinically indicated or justified, with patients and relatives powerless in their relationship with professional staff. Image caption Gladys Rich Ards, who died at the hospital in 1998, was among the photographs on display. Gosport MP Caroline Dinenage said it highlighted many failures by the authorities to properly investigate. She said organizations must look closely at the full report and urged the government to take action if there were causes to answer. She said, I can't even imagine what the families must be going through. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Janet Davies, Chief Executive of the Royal College of Nursing, said the report made for very sober reading for everybody involved in the care of patients. Nursing as a profession must work hard to seek out lessons from Gosport, and we expect that approach to be shared by regulators and the health and care system, she added. The report is right to praise the bravery shown by the nurses who raised concerns. It highlights how difficult it can be for nursing staff to challenge the decisions taken by others. Image copyright PA image caption Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt said there had been a catalogue of failures. The Health Secretary described the findings as truly shocking. He added there had been a catalogue of failures, including by the Department of Health. He said brave nurse whistleblowers had first raised concerns in 1991 as well as families. A report first compiled by Professor Richard Baker in 2003, ND published 10 years later, found evidence of an almost routine use of opiates since 1998. Speaking in the Commons, Mr. Hunt asked why it had taken 10 years for this to be made public. Closing of ranks at the launch of the inquiry 4 years ago, former Care Minister Norman Lamb said it would address what he called unanswered questions about the care of those who died. The Lib Dem MP has now called for an independent and thorough police investigation. A closing of ranks in my view, he said. There has been a real systemic failure here. Shadow Health Secretary Jonathan Ashworth said his substantial 370-page report would take time to absorb. Families were too readily dismissed. It's shameful, he said, as well as hundreds of certificates. The panel analyzed documents from the police, coroners, the NHS and other organizations. The panel included geriatric medicine specialist Dr. Colin Curry, investigative journalist David Hank, former Scotland Yard Commander Duncan Jarrett, and pathology and medical records expert Bill Kirkup.